Welcome to Beyond the Workout with your host, Eric Dunstan. Hello, everyone. This is Coach E. I just want you to know that anything you hear on Beyond the Workout podcast is just information only. It is not a diagnosis for your issues. So anything you hear for well being, nutrition, fitness, exercise, any of those things, just take it that way as information. If you need help for a specific situation, please seek a professional. See your doctor, see a professional personal trainer, and they will diagnose your issues and they will take care of you. All right, sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. Well, hello, everyone, and welcome to another show of Beyond the Workout. It is me, Coach E. Eric Dunstan. And today we're going to dive into a hot topic because I'm starting something new next week. So I want to dive into this topic right now. And something that's been debated for years is something that I have tried and I have encouraged others to try. And that is, should you be eating every 2.5 to 3 hours? Now, some people do swear by it, like me. I do swear that it does work. Um, but then there are others who say it's just a myth and it doesn't work. In fact, I remember doing a show where I kind of stepped back a little bit from that and saying, well, I'm not going to push this as the narrative for everyone because it might work for you, it might not. Some people are okay with just doing 3 meals a day and they get good results from it. But what I'm going to do today is I'm going to break down for you based on this information, based on real life experience, not just hype. So I want you to see that I have tried it and tell you stories about others who've tried it. So if you've ever wondered if meal timing could actually help you lose fat or gain lean muscle or just feel better overall, this is for you. And so let's get right into it. Now, before we jump into anything with science or stats, let me just say, and this is a fact, and all of you would know it, eating right is hard. It is hard, and especially in this country, in the United States, it's hard to do. And also, it's hard to do when you're busy, when you're juggling work, or you have dealing with your family, you have other stresses, and then you're just trying. The goal is to try not to consume like a bunch of food like before bedtime, like at 9 p.m. You want to try to avoid that. So you're struggling with that because you've been busy all day and you really don't want to consume a lot at night because technically your body won't rest. So that's a different show if we talked about resting, but that's the overall point about it being difficult or hard to do to eat right. But right now, I am actually currently building a membership around this piece so that people who struggle with food can finally get the structure they need. They can do it without dieting. They can do it without guilt. They can do it without counting every single calorie. There is a way to do it. And it's loosely based on what we're going to talk about today. And many have done it just based on this information. And listen, if that's for you, like not struggling with dieting or with guilt and counting every calorie. If that's you, and if you've been trying to figure it out and you tried like starting all over every Monday, okay, I'm gonna start on Monday. I'm gonna start on Monday. What you can do right now, you can just go right to ericdunstan.com, my website, and you don't even have to finish this episode if you don't want. Just listening what I just said. If you want to just go to ericdunstan.com, you can actually schedule a chat with me and we can talk about the membership program and see if it's something that's a good fit for you and see how I can help you going forward because this 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 idea of eating every 2.5 to 3 hours, this has been around for decades. Bodybuilders made it popular, which I call myself a bodybuilder. I am building my body. I built my body to be on the stage back in the day, and I'm still trying to build my body to stay healthy. But they made it popular back then, and they claim that it helps you keep your metabolism running hot or running high all day. But the research is pretty clear. Eating more often doesn't automatically speed up your metabolism because we're all made differently. But what matters the most is what you eat, how much you eat, and how consistent you are. The hard part about eating right is the that part about what you eat. And we take that in the membership. My plan is to take that very slowly because nothing should be cold turkey. There shouldn't be a drastic 180 and doing something totally different than what you're doing. But that being said, I've been approached. I've seen this approach actually work firsthand, and not just from theory. I actually seen it work from real life, and to be honest, I've seen where it didn't work. Before I tell you about it working, I remember a situation when I was working as a trainer at a gym, and this guy had tried it. He was eating his 5, 6 meals a day, and his body just hit a wall. He couldn't make any changes. Another trainer brought him over to me to see what I can offer for him, and I made a few other suggestions, and he said he tried all of those, but his body got to a point where it knew it couldn't lose any more weight because it had to survive. The body knows it just stopped. I don't know how it does it, but I know it does. So, if you plateau, there are other things we can do to focus on. If your weight just doesn't come off, we would just really focus on building muscle, and that's where the weight training come from. A lot of people just do a lot of cardio work, but you want to add in the weight training to add to this change that we'll make within this membership program. But now that I told you, I've heard of somebody who it didn't work for. Let me tell you that this has worked in my world. I have seen it. First was with my mother-in-law. My mother-in-law was diagnosed with breast cancer, and there were certain foods she wasn't allowed to eat, and she got into this regimen where she was eating small meals throughout the day, and she started in the morning with a simple breakfast, whatever she wanted. And then a few hours later, you saw her back in the kitchen making something else. And her body was just like on a timer. And she ate, I would say, 5 to 6 meals every day. And in fact, when she lost the weight and felt better, in meaning that she felt better where her knees never hurt anymore. So this is what I mean. When she would get out of her car, it was a low car, set low to the ground. She wanted to buy an SUV, something that set higher, so she didn't have to stoop so low and her knees hurt. Well, she lost so much weight that she would get in and out of her car, and she admitted, well, now I don't need a car. My knees no longer hurt when I get in and out my car. Well, you see how just that little change adjusted her weight, and it saved her thousands of dollars from having to go out and buy another vehicle. Isn't that a win win? Well, I would definitely think so. A win win just to make that slight adjustment. And then myself, I've done it. When I was bodybuilding, I was on the stage between uh, the 80s and 90s, 1980s and 1990s. And, I followed this regimen where I would eat these small meals throughout the day. And it just brought my weight to just where it needed to be. And even after I finished competing, I stuck with that. And I've been able to maintain muscle mass because I ate enough protein to go along with eating those small meals. And it has kept my weight steady. I mean, as I've aged, I can see that I can do more to try to lose a little bit of weight, especially around the midsection. This is where men struggle. And no matter if you're a trainer, bodybuilder, whatever, you're still going to struggle with that area. We all do. But then I know my wife has done it. She was consistent with it, and to a point where she thought that she couldn't lose weight. And I kept telling her, but you can. And she blamed her body's chemistry for it. And I said, there's just certain adjustments you need to make. And she did it. She made these adjustments. In fact, she's a coach too. And she's going to assist me along with this, this membership program if you want to consider it. Um, so she stuck to this regimen of eating around 5 to 6 meals, small meals each day. And it made a difference in her body. She lost the weight that she thought she shouldn't. And I did the classic no's, no. And I said, see, I told you. So I told her, I told you so. And it did work. Didn't hurt her feelings because she felt good because she lost the weight. And one other story, too, I just want to throw this in, which is how I know it works. Even when I'm not around, I know it works. Um, there was a friend of mine, we were all going on a trip to New York to be involved with a conference. And it was probably about a 5 hour train trip going up. And the friend, she's deaf. She can't hear, but she kept asking me these questions about trying to get her weight down. And I simply told her about eating consistently the small meals every 2.5 to 3 hours. And she was questioning that, like, how can that even work? How would I be able to do that? How do I handle that with a busy life? And I told her uh, the one key moment that you know that you can do this consistently is if you do it on one of your busiest days. And it happened. She texted me one time and she said, "Oh my, I was busy all day, in and out of meetings, and I was able to get my 5 meals in for the day, even though I was busy." And I said, "See, now that you've done that, you can be consistent with it on days you're not busy because now you've learned how to handle it on busy days." Well, a few months had passed and I hadn't seen her. And then I remember her coming out of some building or something like that. I think that's where we were. We went into some place and I saw her and I was totally amazed at her transformation. And I couldn't believe that it was actually just what I said. So I just asked her, "What were you doing to make this change?" And she simply said, "I did exactly what you told me to do. I did those small meals each and every day." And her weight came down. Now, I know we might be thinking, well, we're talking about weight loss here, but let's just say I'm not going to just say this only happens for losing weight, um, but you want to be able to use it to build lean muscle mass as well. So we always talk in this country about weight loss, losing fat, spot reduction, not looking good in our skin, not feeling great in our bodies, not looking good in our clothes. So we always talk that way because we are overweight in this country. That's the way we think. And some of us might think you might think you're overweight, but you might be just spot on. Just thinking that though, you might really not be overweight. Maybe you can do some these BMR tests, and you might be just right in your range where you need to be. And don't overthink this. Don't get into any body shaming of yourselves. Uh, don't overthink it. Just think that you are a human. You're beautiful as you are. If you just want to get fit, a little fit, you can do it, and you can do it following this simple program. But there's more to it than that. So um, I just want to say, I want to just throw that piece in. There is more to it than just doing the small meals because you want to be able to stick to it, and then you want to be able to be healthy by doing it. But I'm gonna be real to y'all. I'm gonna be real and straight up with each and every one of you that um, this isn't for everyone. Uh, it works best for people who maybe skip meals and they crash later. or they struggle with portion controls, they always overeat, or they tend to binge at night. It's good for people like that. Um, and the reason I say that, like if you skip meals and you kind of think, well, if I skip my meal, my body won't get in take in those calories and I won't get fat or I won't gain weight. But do you know the body knows how to survive? It wants to survive. And it can understand when you are not giving it enough, and it will store what it needs to continue to live a little bit longer. So you can think you're starving yourself to lose weight, but you might be starving yourself and end up gaining weight. So that's why we want to be consistent with the steps we take in when we eat, how much we eat, and then we start focusing on what we eat so we can get dial this in better and get better and better at eating healthier and healthier without being overwhelmed. Now, this doesn't work if you're just eating whatever every few hours with no structure. It won't work with you. That's why with my Eating Better membership, I help people build a plan that fits them. It's a simple meals, a smart structure, and real results. And like I say, with myself, my mother-in-law, with my wife, and my other friend, you get real results. Results that you're going to see almost immediately, and you stay consistent, you will see and be amazed. And the goal is once you start to see the results, and don't stop where you are there. We want to get to your ultimate goal. And if you want to build that rhythm, and whether it's every 3 hours or something else, if you want to really come in and see what I can do for you, just like I said before, go to ericdunston.com, schedule a chat with me, and we'll look at what you're doing now. We're going to talk real talk. We're not going to just throw you off your game. We're going to talk real talk and find something that works better. And that's my plug because that's my program, better for you. Now, when I talk about chatting with you about this, with this membership program, it's new for me, and so I'm only taking in a few. So let's just say right now, and I'll be honest, I can only handle no more than 10 people. I'm trying to start off about five, but I'm not sure if others might want to join in on it because once you hear this, you might want to join. I can probably take it up to 10, but my goal or our goal is to focus on you specifically because we want to dial this program in to make sure it works and that it can work consistently for each and every person that signs up. So you might be listening to this and say, I want to do that. I want to join in on that program. And you might be the 11th person. Well, if we have 10 people on and you're the 11th person, you're in a waiting line because I cannot and I will not jeopardize those who have already joined of making sure they see progress. And my goal with this membership starting soon is to see real hard evidence, true transformation in 6 weeks. That's what I'm going for. And once you start seeing that, I want the ball to just keep running. I want you to say, "Wow, I made it. I'm not turning around. I'm gonna identify as someone who is fit, in shape, and healthy, and I'm gonna keep going to meet my identity." That's what I want you to do. So, uh, thinking about what I just talked about, I don't want to keep dragging this on because I can just repeat what I said over and over again to let you know that this can work and it will work for you if you're the right person. And that's why I say we chat about it. If you want to come on the program and try it, then we'll see if it works for you. So, is this eating every 2.5 to 3 hours a must? You have to do it? No, you don't have to. Some do get away with just eating 3 meals a day. They can do it. but usually they eat really, really healthy, clean, good meals. And like I said in the beginning, eating right is tough. It's hard. So we don't want to eat perfectly. We just want to try to eat better. And that's what my program is about. But eating 2.5 to 3 hours every day, it can be a powerful strategy when it is done with the right foods and the right mindset. And isn't that key to have the right mindset to get this thing going? Now, for some, it helps with hunger. For others, it's a game changer for energy and focus, and it might help with all of that. And for most, it's a way to finally stop overeating and staying ahead of it. So this is what I want you to try. If you don't want to try it without me, you can try it. Or like I said, if it's not, it's just not about eating more often. It's about eating better, and that's what better is all about. That's what my program is all about. So I just want you uh, to consider how you're going to eat. I want you to consider trying the 2.5 to 3 hour meals. They just got to be dialed in just right, so it can be timed just right. So I want to thank you all out there for tuning in to this episode of Beyond the Workout. Now, if this episode helped you see food differently, you think it or you think it might be good for someone else who needs it, someone else you think might have been looking for a program to join and try, and they want to get away from this the yo-yo dieting they were doing. Share this episode with them. You know, my information will be right there for them to come to my website too. And if you're ready to stop guessing and start eating better with a real plan, go ahead and visit ericdunstan.com. I'm going to keep plugging it and schedule a free chat with me. It'll be right there. It'll say let's chat or let's talk or whatever. It's right there on my website, ericdunstan.com. So whether you join the Eating Better membership or my full Better program, because I do it all with the exercises and everything, that's the full program. I'll help you take that next step. And I think we can do it, and we can do it together. So until next time, keep living better, one choice at a time. I'm Coach E. I'll see you next episode. Take care. Thanks for listening to Beyond the Workout podcast. I hope you enjoyed the show. Please be sure to check me out at ericdunstan.com and subscribe to my YouTube channel, Physique Improvements. Take care, everyone.